guys, it's Lisa. Welcome to Banning, Panning and Beyond and another inventory video. So today I've decided to do contour shades and bronzers, but I'm only doing ones in single compacts. So anything that's in a palette, like a multi-shade palette, I will do in another video under basically a general category of face palettes. So anything that includes a mix of setting powders, blushes, highlighters, bronzers, that sort of thing. So before I actually get into that though, from my previous video with my empties, entries and exits, which will be the one going up prior to this, I did somehow manage to miss this Chantecaille eye cream that was an empty. I did show this, I believe, in the last video of my Roll-Up Pan collab anyway, but I just wanted to make sure that I popped that one in and let you know that that was an empty as well. The other thing that I sort of wanted to just quickly touch on from that previous video was that the two things that I purchased with my budget being the start of my low buy, I kind of had a lot to get through in regards to the empties. So I think even though I waffled on a fair bit in regards to the entries, one thing I didn't say was that I did feel really good about the purchases that I made because they weren't impulse buys. Both of the items that I purchased were things that had been on my wish lists for quite a while. So I definitely felt good about buying them. They were thought out. They were items I truly believe that I did want. They weren't sort of just because of the initial hype when they were released. So anyway, moving on from that, I'm going to get straight into my contours only because I only have a few, which is not the same can be said for my bronzers, unfortunately. So I already touched on the it's, what did it go under, like a concealer. It was part of the Fenty Matchsticks trio. I have part of the trio. I have a contour shade, which is this one. It's called Amber. It's the only cream contour that I've got. You can see that it is actually quite a cool tone, so that's very good for contouring. And I had the concealer shade, which was Linen, which I did mention in that one that even though I generally don't use concealers like for highlighting, like sort of up here and down the bridge of the nose and across the cheek, this is the only product that actually do use that to help sort of carve out as a concealer, because it sort of comes as part of the trio, and it's just when I use it, that's the only thing I generally use it for, is just to help that contour sort of stand out a bit more. And then there's also a highlighter, so I'll cover that one in a future video. So like I said, it's the only cream contour that I have. I always seem to forget to use these. It's something that I'd have to make a conscious effort on doing, but that said, I actually really do like the result that I get when I use particularly the contour and the concealer shade. So highlighter, yeah, not so much, but they do give a really nice finish. But even when I use these, I'd still end up going over the top, at least with a powder bronzer. So but yeah, so that's one I've got. Now this is an expensive product. I got sucked into the hype with this one. I'd never had like a specifically a contour shade before in a powder, and it was the Kevin Aquan one. This was 70 Australian dollars for this tiny little compact, but it will last quite a long time. It's just in the it's called the sculpting powder, and it's in the shade Light. I'm not using it at the moment because I do have a contour shade in a palette, which is not going to be shown in this video, which I have hit pan on, and I'm working on using that up. So when that is finished, I will move back onto this, and it is a really good shade for me. And it will last forever. So even though it was expensive, it's not like I'm turning them over every couple of months. Prior to getting that Kevin Aquan sculpting powder, I bought this Too Faced. It's traditionally it's a bronzer, but because it is a relatively cool shade, it can be used for contouring. So and there's a lot of product in this particular compact, so I don't think I'm going to be needing to buy contour shades for quite a long time. So so that's it for contouring. It's probably one of the most minimal categories I have in all of my makeup. So so moving on to bronzers, this is the one that I am currently using, and it's going to take forever. Now, I got this for free. It's a Marc Jacobs palette, and it's absolutely huge. So it is the Omega Bronze, and it's in shade 102 Tantric. So there's how many? It says 25 grams of product in that compact. So it's a huge amount. I've got a massive bronzing brush that I got from Morphe, which I swirl in and use that. So I generally, when I bronze, I will bronze, because I've got such a big forehead, I always bronze across the top there, and then I end up bringing down sort of in that 3 and the 3. It's going to go the opposite for you, so 3 and reverse 3. So and I always sort of bronze in underneath here as well. So I know not everybody bronzes and contours. I do both. So I've always got the contour that I sort of do higher up. I've got relatively high cheekbones anyway, but I always go higher up to try and not give the droopy face effect. I try not to bronze or contour too low or bronze too low, but with a big brush like that, it's hard to control. But it seems to work okay. So anyway, so that is what I am currently working on. I've been working on it for quite a while. Unfortunately, prior to my no-buy, I wasn't taking note of when I opened and first started products, so I can't actually tell you how long I've been working on that one, but it is significantly a long time. So and with these sorts of products, I really do like to try and finish one off. I don't generally like work on multiples, but I do have a few prior to this one that I had been working on. So once I finish that, I'll move back onto those. And I didn't actually explain why I got this for free, because it is relatively expensive. But we had with Sephora Australia something that was to do with they were moving their warehouse from one location to another, and they had some shipping issues, and so as an apology, they actually sent these out for free. I think we had to register for it, and it went out to, I think, only a certain level of Sephora membership, which I was at the time. So I actually didn't have any shipping issues. I didn't, at the time, I hadn't placed any orders with Sephora, so it was just an absolute bonus for me to get this. And like I said, it is expensive, and I probably never would have bought it. So, and I quite like it. I think the shade is really good for my skin tone as well. So okay, so I need to keep moving on because we're 9 minutes into it, and I have quite a few here. So the next two I'll do. So I've covered the one that I'm currently using. These are the only liquid or sort of cream products. I'm just going to open up my spreadsheet and make sure that I don't miss any. So so I've got both of by Hoola. This is Dew the Hoola, not used. So this is a liquid in the pump pack. I don't know what sort of shade that's going to be on me. It'll be interesting to try it, and I definitely would need a relatively good buffing in brush, I'm guessing. Now, so this is a cream stick product. Would have been a free sample. I think I have actually used this. I know I've swatched it. There's not a lot in there, so it probably wouldn't take too long to finish, and it would probably have sort of worked similar to the Fenty contour stick, but I think this is too, yeah, it's way too warm to use as a contour, so it would have to be used as a cream bronzer. So yeah, so hopefully, no, I didn't bring anything out to actually clean my hand, but I'll just buff that in. So you can see that it does buff out fairly nice, even just with the finger, so it probably worked quite fine. The rest I've got are all powder products. So this was a gift, it's from Nutrimedics. My mother-in-law is I suppose she's not really a rep because she doesn't really sell to other people, but she's registered as a rep, and to qualify she has to spend a certain amount in a certain length of time to keep getting the discount. And it was a product that she bought for me. I actually really do like it. Now, because it's multicolored, it actually gives a really nice color for my skin tone. I just sort of swirl it all together and use it to sort of color my cheeks up a little bit, so it doesn't, you could sort of get away with using that as a bronzer and blush all in one, and if you're in a rush, this is a good sort of product to use. Now, what else do we have here? So I've got the Park Avenue Princess bronzer by Tarte. It is relatively quite deep, but yeah, it seems to, it's just there. It buffs out quite nice. I do have the full chisel palette in Park Avenue Princess, which I'll show you in that face palette video. So yeah, I have used that one before. I have an Ofra bronzer in Americano. This is probably too dark for me and probably would be better suited as more of a transition shade for eyeshadow. And I know Desi Perkins used to do that a lot with her Hoola bronzer. Sorry, struggling to get this one open. But yeah, that it is quite a dark one. So you can, I'll put that there. So you can see it's well too dark for me. So I probably should put that aside now that I've actually mentioned it in this video. And whether I'll ever actually use it, I don't know. I probably should put it in my everyday makeup drawer to remind me to use it as a transition shade when I do looks. So what else? So we've got a bit of a mix here. I've got the Colourpop bronzer. I don't believe this is actually available anymore, but I quite liked it. It's California or CA Dreaming, and it is a lovely shade for me. And I was told the Fenty Beauty, I can't remember what shade it was though, that this was a dupe for it. And I ended up getting the Fenty Beauty bronzer, which I'll show you now, but I didn't get the shade that that Colourpop one was a dupe for. This was the next shade down, and it's called Shady Biz. I'll hold the two of them up next to each other. So they do look quite similar, I guess, but this looks a little bit more cool toned to me. So but both of those are still quite good for my colouring. Now I have also, I've got two from Physicians Formula, and I do really like both of these. One's the Butter Bronzer, which everybody, still smells like coconut. Everybody has seen these before. I just got the standard one because there is a light one as well, but I find that is quite light, so it's good especially for winter for me, even though I don't darken up much in summer because particularly now I avoid the sun. And then I have this other one from them. It's a Bronze Booster one from Physicians Formula. So it's got the really pretty sun on that, but it is a little bit worn away, but you can sort of see it there, and it's another really nice bronzer as well. So I've got those two Physicians Formula ones. I have one from BH Cosmetics, which came from a recommendation. Oh, what's her name? It was an Australian YouTuber anyway. Terrible that I can't think of her name at the moment. If I think of it, I might actually link it in the description box. So this is the BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer in Golden Gal. So it's quite good for fairer skin tones. So I think I've pretty much used all of these, to be honest, at some point. So that's really bad of me. But they are powder products, so I'm not too bothered. Then I've only got 3 more. So I am getting through this relatively quickly. I seem to be struggling to get these open though. So I've got 2 Milani baked bronzers here. And let's get that. So one's a bit rosier than the other. So this is in the shade 04 Glow, and this one is, oh my god, so this is Dolce, it's 09. So as I said, that one is a bit more rosy, and then this one you can see that it's got the gold through that one. They are quite domed. I don't know, I heard that maybe these might actually be hollow in the middle. I'll have to let you guys know when I actually get to that point. Sorry, just going to I'm feeling a bit stiff from my exercise. I was just picking up the brush that dropped out of that. Didn't even realize there was a brush in there, and I won't be using that. It's like, it's super super thin, and I don't think it would be very good for bronzing. So and then the last one I've got is a Bobbi Brown. It's another one. I got this as a free sample when I ordered an eyeshadow palette from the Bobbi Brown website quite a long time ago, and it is the Mini Shimmer Brick Compact in bronze. So another one that you can swirl together and get a really nice sort of mix of colour. I wouldn't be trying to dip into individual colours in there, of course, because they're way too small, so that would not be suitable at all. So I'm just going to go back and count. So all up for bronzers, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 10. I have 11 powder bronzers, and I have 2 of the sort of liquid and cream, one of each of those. So what, that's 13 bronzers all up, which is better than I can say for my concealers. And then we had the 3 contours, so doesn't seem too bad. I'm just looking over it. I've got a whole heap of face palettes on a separate stand over there. So yeah, as though, even though I don't have too many single compacts, by the time you add all the face palettes in, it's just, yeah, another category that I have way too much of. So so anyway, so that's all I've got for this video. I have been asked to do skincare, so I'll probably do that next, and I will do separate videos on my morning skincare routine and also my nighttime skincare routine, but I'll keep them separate from the actual inventory of my skincare. So I'm not too sure until I have a look at that category how I'm going to break it down, whether I'll just do it as one video to cover all my skincare inventory, or whether or not I'll sort of break it down into, say, cleansers and moisturizers, and then a separate one for eye creams and masks or whatever. So I just don't want my videos to go on too long. I'd rather do them as separate ones. So that's it for me, guys. This will be the last video I do before I go away, and hopefully I can get these edited and up. If not, I'll have to edit and post while I'm gone, but at least they're recorded. So I will catch you guys soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.